now at 6. A massive house explosion rocks a Washington community. What neighbors say they saw before the fireball.
Very hot, very big, and very scary.
Then, how Portlanders with ties to Venezuela are pushing for all of us to pitch in after 2 devastating earthquakes.
It's overwhelming, and on the good side of the things, how people have been so supportive.
Plus, the new numbers that show it's taking about 20 minutes for Portland police to get to high-priority calls.
We should be established in a way that we can meet that demand.
And an update on a KGW investigation that is no laughing matter, with one lawmaker trying to close a nationwide loophole.
There's too many gaps out there across the country in terms of how nitrous oxide is regulated.
But first to our top story and the growing response, including local efforts to 2 deadly earthquakes in Venezuela. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. More than 900 people have now been confirmed dead, with more than 3,000 injured. The 7.2 and 7.5 quakes came less than 40 seconds apart, just leveling buildings, closing the nation's main airport, and leaving many families searching for their loved ones. And now time really rapidly running out to find survivors who may be trapped in the rubble.
It looks like a war zone. We're talking about, again, hundreds of high rises that just fell to the ground with many people in their homes because it was a holiday in Caracas that day.
That is the reality. The State Department now deploying search and rescue teams, medical resources, and humanitarian aid. And there are also new efforts to help locally.
Alma McCarty is live at one local business preparing to hold its own fundraiser. Alma.
Yeah, David and Christine, due to the urgent need here, La Arepa is holding a one-day donation drive at both their northeast and their southeast locations. That's going to be from noon until 7 p.m. to collect those vital items that so many need after this natural disaster.
Devastating twin earthquakes on Venezuela's north coast, claiming hundreds of lives and injuring thousands.
You can do anything, right? We are so far away from there. You feel that your hands are tied.
As the death toll continues to climb, Veronica Gutierrez, owner of La Arepa, explains it's hard to fully grasp the need.
2 earthquakes, one after the other, in a country with few resources, where there are no hospitals working correctly, and the government is not prepared for this situation, and this makes the tragedy worse.
The flavors of her food bring the taste of Venezuela to the Rose City,
making people traveling to Venezuela on every bite that we serve to them.
Now she's hoping Portlanders will pitch in to help her home country and the people impacted by this natural disaster.
We are in need of help and support because they need to be treated, and also the ones that are still under those buildings that have fallen, they need to be saved.
Despite the distance, she's doing what she can, organizing a Saturday donation drive and partnering with the nonprofit Venezuela's Voice in Oregon.
And if you can donate, donate. And if you can bring something for the drive tomorrow, you can do it. Anything helps.
Again, that donation drive is going to be tomorrow from noon until 7. And Gutierrez emphasized that there are a lot of good people doing a lot of good work out there, but that you may want to make sure that if you're giving in any capacity, to give to a legitimate fundraiser or a legitimate organization. There may be some select few people out there who are trying to take advantage of this tragic situation. Christine, David, back to you.
Yeah, good to remember, but still touched by the outpouring of support. Alma McCarty reporting. Thank you, Alma.
Let's switch to a live look now from our Vancouver Sky Camera. The springs at the waterfront, that's what they call Columbia Blue, on a day that's definitely feeling cooler after the rain came down heavy overnight. And guess what? Even though it is summer, and yes, it is Friday, turns out there's more where that came from.
Meteorologist Chris McGinnis joins us now on this Friday evening. Chris, what should we know about this weather impact alert we've got
on the
going
weekend.
on?
Yes, there is some rain, some showers coming our way. This is the culprit, if you will, cold low pressure diving out of the North Pacific, and that will be centered over us tomorrow. And so that will be a prime ingredient for frequent showers, I think, and any of the stronger showers may be capable of some small hail and maybe even a rumble of thunder. The freezing level tomorrow is going to be down around 6,500 to 7,000 feet, which means there could even be some snowflakes at timberline in late June. It has happened before, and it may happen this weekend, and that does set the stage again for frequent showers and a possible rumble of thunder. So if that should arise, seek shelter. There will be some dry time. It's not going to be an all-day washout, but it will be unseasonably cool as well. For now, it actually doesn't look all that bad out there. We have one or two widely scattered showers across the region that appear to be dissipating for now. They will be on the uptick again, though, as we go into tomorrow. Here's a live look from the Explore Tualatin Valley camera out of the Reserve Golf Course and Vineyard. Broken cloud cover and a temperature of 66. And if you're heading out on the town this evening, expect temperatures gradually easing into the lower 60s by about 10 o'clock. Sunset tonight still 9:04. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris.
In your headlines, a former Oregon corrections officer is now on the other side of lockup after a jury found him guilty of killing his brother. Alonzo Roll shot his brother Tony Miller in November 2024 at a home in Dallas, Oregon. He then drove to his former workplace, the Oregon State Penitentiary. That's where he was arrested after a short standoff with officers. Roll will be sentenced next month.
The Oregon Department of Human Services is hoping you might be able to help them find this missing 2-year-old. DHS says Armani Andrews went missing last Wednesday, but they just put out the alert tonight. They're not saying much about the circumstances, only that they believe the toddler is in danger. He's suspected to still be somewhere in the Portland area and is typically seen around the Rosehaven Shelter, Central Library, or Southeast Portland around 82nd to 103rd. If you see Armani, call 911 right away.
On the Willamette, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office recovered a body this morning near the East Bank Esplanade. They describe it as, quote, very decomposed, and say it was spotted near the banks. No word yet on who this person might be or exactly what happened. Former Clackamas County Commissioner Melissa Fireside, already on the run from theft charges, has now been indicted on 19 new charges. Fireside is now accused of using her mother's credit card and using her mom's personal information to get a loan. This allegedly happened after she was elected. Fireside had already been charged with stealing some $60,000 from her mother's 83-year-old boyfriend. She disappeared after her arraignment. Officials say they believe she left the country with her 9-year-old son.
And it now takes Portland police an average of 20 minutes to get to even high priority calls. That's double the response time of 2020. Those numbers, according to a new report out of the city's public safety office. Police Chief Bob Day and Councilor Loretta Smith pointed to the report today to push for an increase in police funding so the Bureau can add more officers.
We've never had a 911 call of somebody saying, hey, my parents are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, come by, right? 200,000 plus times a year, Portlanders call the Portland Police on their worst possible day at their worst possible time.
The report also said it costs about $345,000 to hire and train a single officer, though right now about a quarter of trainees aren't making it through the full process. And we are following up this evening on a KGW investigative series into nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas.
No laughing matter. Kyle Boshi is with us. Kyle, following your investigation, we saw laws change in Oregon and Washington, though from what I've seen, it sounds like lawmakers are now thinking even bigger.
Right. Since our initial reporting, we've seen lawmakers in Oregon take action. The Washington legislature passed a bill, and now there's proposed federal legislation that, if approved by Congress, would apply to all 50 states.
We found them in convenience stores, gas stations, and smoke shops. Big, colorful tanks, often in fruity flavors.
Fruit punch, cosmic grape, strawberry stardust.
Nitrous oxide, or laughing gas, as easy to buy as a soda or a bag of chips.
Big sucker, huh? Yeah. Space gas, strawberry stardust.
Now, Congressman Kevin Mullen is stepping in. The California Democrat has proposed a bill banning the retail sale of nitrous oxide to consumers, including online sales.
I really believe there needs to be a federal ban on this.
For years, people used small doses of nitrous oxide as a party drug by inhaling the cartridges used to make whipped cream. Recently, though, health officials have raised concerns after a surge in dangerous cases and deaths. Previously, KGW spoke with a Gresham couple temporarily paralyzed after prolonged use of the gas. We also met a Portland man recovering from the depths of addiction and interviewed someone who lost a loved one. The driver responsible for his father's death had dozens of nitrous canisters in his daughter's Minnie Mouse backpack.
The fact that this guy had over 70 cans of this nitrous in his daughter's backpack. I was like, who does this?
Federal law prohibits the sale of nitrous oxide for recreational use, inhaling it. But companies can get around that if they say it's for food use only. Look closely, there's often a disclaimer on the packaging. This loophole allows them to sell it legally as a culinary product, in sizes absurd for chefs, but ideal for huffing.
Does this close the legal loophole?
If we have a federal ban, it's going to be much harder for people to get their hands on this for recreational use.
Under Congressman Mullen's proposal, nitrous oxide cannot be sold to consumers regardless of whether it's labeled as a food product or has a warning. Cities and states across the U.S. have passed laws restricting access. Last year, Oregon made it tougher for young people to buy nitrous. And in March of this year, Washington became the second state to ban the retail sale of nitrous oxide.
There's too many gaps out there across the country in terms of how nitrous oxide is regulated. So it's really calling out for federal action.
The bill, which has bipartisan support, requires anyone using nitrous for legitimate uses to prove it and ensure that it's not getting into the hands of consumers. The goal? Get these colorful tanks off store shelves and protect families and communities from what's become a dangerous, even deadly drug.
Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon is working on similar legislation in the Senate. He hopes to have it introduced later this summer. If you'd like to see our award-winning investigative documentary, Nitrous, The Legal Loophole, you can watch it on the KGW streaming app. It's free and available for streaming right now.
Important reporting. Appreciate the follow-up, Kyle. Thank you.